Well, boys, it's a new 2-year deal for the pair of you, extending your stay with the club. How happy are you both to get over the line?
Yeah, delighted. It's something that's been going on in the background for a while now. Look, we still feel there's loads of progression and loads of areas that we can improve on and off the pitch. So look, we're really excited to get going again now. It ties us down and it kind of brings stability to the football club now.
And yourself, Matty?
Yeah, delighted. Just echo what Stu said. It's good to have that stability in terms of recruiting a squad and renewing deals and trying to bring players in that people know we're going to be here. So it's an exciting time. There's loads going on off the pitch that obviously we can't mention, but for us, we're in no rush. Obviously, people know that we've had interest higher up and stuff, but we're in no rush. We're happy here. So yeah, delighted.
And you said, Stu, it's a long-term project. You said that when you started. How have you seen the project going so far? Obviously, since you come here, even when you come here in the south, you've always improved league position. The squad's always improved in quality. So yeah, you've seen that progress kick on.
Yeah, look, I think we're probably quite a way ahead of the process. Even when me and Matty come in, look, we're ambitious people and we believe in what we do, and the standards we set are really high. But I think we're probably quite a way ahead of where probably we should be as a team and probably should be as a club in the league positions that we've finished in the last 2 years. But it's really exciting that the fact that we are. This season's going to be even tougher than last season because the clubs that are coming up, there's a lot of clubs coming into the division now that are full-time already have their full-time structure. They've added to their squads, so they're going to be stronger. A lot of the teams within this division have not just retained their squads but added more quality to the squads as well. I think there's a lot of clubs now that probably believe they can get out this division this year, so I think it's going to be a really tough division, especially the top 10 clubs that always spend good money within the league. I think they're spending more than what they probably have done to try and really give it a push this season with the likes of Notts and Wrexham going. So it's going to be a big ask, it's going to be tough, but look, we're excited for the challenge. Like Matty said there, we've retained 16 in the squad, and it's good for us because the way that we work, we have our patterns of play and our process that we work to and we stick to, and I think we're starting to improve as a management team now. We're understanding what we want against different shapes, and you're seeing the rewards of it now within this pre-season.
And Matt, you said before in one of our pre-season interviews this summer that you think that the quality at the bottom half of the league especially is really, really strong this year. Just echoing on what Stu said there, how tough do you think, where you say there's probably incidences a lot last year that where we were expected to get a win, is that going to happen less so this year?
I think even just look at our first 3 games. I think you look at York now, obviously they're spending fortunes, so that's probably a game last season that we would be thinking, listen, it's going to be competitive, even though they are a bigger club than ourselves. It's a game that you think you can win. Listen, we still think we can win it, of course we do, but in terms of kind of the gap between York and us now, it's become astronomical compared to where it was last season, so that's going to be a really, really tough game. You look at Eastleigh, they're doing the same. They've brought in McCallum and Quigley and players for them. I think brought someone in from Stevenage who played 35 games last season in League Two. So again, the gap from them to ourselves has got even bigger. So yeah, of course, the gap, like I said, is bigger than it's ever been. From not just us to what was like Wrexham and Notts, so you've probably got Chesterfield now at the top. The gap between us and just the team above us is very big still, and everybody knows that in terms of the budget and things like that. So yeah, of course it will be difficult, but we don't go in with a defeatist mindset. We go in, we're very, very focused on what we do, and we believe that if we do things right, and you've seen it in pre-season, whether we're playing MK Dons, whether we're playing Charlton, or whether we're playing whoever it is, whether it's Bracknell, we just focus on what we do, and we think if we can do what we do well, then teams can't stop it, or they can only stop it to a degree. So yeah, we're always confident. It will be hard, and the ambition really from the club, from inside the club, is to just stay in the division again. We've got our own targets and goals, but yeah, if we can stay up again, and I think it's the 4th season it'll be now, so it's unbelievable for a football club to. There's a lot of teams that have tried with more resources than us and can't do it. So for us to keep doing it is fantastic, and that'll be the target again next season.
And we finished 13th last year. I think there was a sort of an air of disappointment at the last game because we'd spent so much of the season in the top half and around the playoff places. But how difficult is it to replicate that position again?
Yeah, it's going to be really tough, and like you said then, at the back end of the season, I think everyone was a little bit deflated and kind of a little bit down because of the league position that we finished in 13th, considering we were in and around the playoffs pretty much all season. But it just goes to show this a relentless league, and when you get injuries and suspensions, they really do hurt you. And we had 2 batches within the season where we had 4 or 5, and at one stage 6 out of the team, and we struggled to win a game in 5. And it's one of those that you need bits of luck within the season to keep everyone fit at the right time, to make sure that you pick points up, and that's a key element within this league. If you look at all the squads, whenever they lose key players, they lose games of football within this division. It's relentless. So that's the biggest focus that we've gone away this summer. We've got to make sure, can we keep everyone fit? Can we make sure that every time we get to a game on a Saturday that we're as fresh as we can be, and we can pick our strongest team, that we feel strongest for that game.
So we kept 16 from last year, and we've brought 2 in, I think, Jed and Tavon, which gives you a good size squad of 18 to operate before the first game next week. Do you see any more faces coming in between now and obviously when the Football League window closes in September?
Yeah, we'll be looking to add a couple in the next week or so, and then potentially we will wait for the window to shut in the Football League before we go into the loan market if needed. We want to make sure that this year we've got a really competitive squad, that we want to try and get it, that I just said then about injuries, that when players are injured, that there's players coming in that are of a similar level, and we feel that we're kind of getting that within the squad now, and it's becoming really competitive, and it's going to give me and Matty headaches all season. It will be, and we've told the squad from minute one that it's not about the starting 11 who starts against York on the first game of the season. It's when you get to Christmas who will be starting then, and that's what it is. It's a squad. We're not a team. We're not a 1 to 11. We're 1 to say 18, 19 this season, and we need to make sure that everyone contributes when they're playing and when they're coming off the bench, and everyone makes a difference for us this season.
And so you both mentioned stability as well. The management team's been more or less the same, hasn't it, since you took the manager's job properly? How important has those cogs been behind both of your successes in your time here?
Yeah, we're very loyal people, so we stick with people, and I think we give them their role. We let them do their job. We don't micromanage. We kind of have an expectancy of what we want, and then we let people do their job because that's what they're here for. That's what they're qualified. That's what they've gone to uni and things like that and studied to do. So there's no point us trying to pretend we know better than them, because we don't, and that's why they're here, and they've been very loyal to us, and we've been very loyal to them, and that's why it works, because I think everybody treats each other how they want to be treated, and it's a big factor in the way we manage. That's the same with the players, it's the same with the management team, it's the same with yourself, with anybody that's at the club. You try and treat people the right way, and they've all played their fair share, or played their part in our success, and we're going to need them this season as well. So yeah, the management team, once you get that management team that you trust and you all stick together, then it can be powerful.
It's just important, you could be the biggest tactical genius in the world, isn't it? But managing relationships is also a big part of the role, isn't it?
Yeah, it's treating people as human beings. Of course it is. That's all anybody wants, is to be treated the right way. They might walk out of this office, we might speak to a player or a member of staff and not agree with it, but as long as we've done it in a respectful manner, and a lot of the time it's what we want. It might not be right or wrong, you can both be right, it's just what we want as a management team, and I think it's so important that you treat people the right way. It's a massive part of our management style, and it's something that we're adamant that we want to kind of be known for it. And I think even when you look at, like, when you obviously announced the new deals, you look at some of the comments and stuff, there's a lot of, not just about the football side, it's about how we treat people, and for that's just as important to us than it is the tactical side of the game and all of that. So we're incredibly proud to work like that. All the staff buy into it, and their characters and morals are the same. So yeah, it's very important.
Yeah, and then to be quite reflective now, obviously, starting with yourself, Matty, you come here to begin with just as your playing career was winding down, and then left and come back. How much have you learnt, do you feel, as a coach since starting back here as an assistant manager?
Yeah, a massive amount. As a player, I was always very tactically aware as a player, but the amount I've learned in terms of on top of that is monumental. I had a really good upbringing with Roy Hodgson and people like Ray Lewin at Fulham, so they were very tactically astute. So I always kind of had that upbringing, but the amount you learn when you come on this side of it, in different presses and things like that, is astronomical. So yeah, it's a huge learning curve. I'm very privileged to be in this position. I always look at it like that, because there's a lot of people that want to work in football that don't get the opportunity. So I'm very lucky. I think we try and maximise that luck and work as hard as we can. But yeah, I've learned so much and continue to want to learn, because nobody knows everything. At the top level, they don't know everything. So you just want to keep learning and keep improving ourselves. And
yourself, Chelsea, you was years at Hemel, wasn't you, before coming here? How have you adapted in the last sort of 3 years of you permanently in charge?
Yeah, I think tactically and I think philosophy-wise, there's been a big change in the sense of when we was at Hemel in our early days, we did play a hell of a lot more direct into the front and then kind of play off of that, whereas our philosophy now, mine and Matt's, is that we build from the back, we play through the lines, we play high tempo, we press, we get after teams no matter who we play, wherever we go. Even last season when we went away to Wrexham, we pressed them high up the pitch and we dominated the ball, and it's something that we want to do. And we learn game to game. We're even learning in pre-season. That's what's been so good this pre-season. You can look at some of the results and you look at Charlton is 5-0, but you look at the way that we controlled the game for 20-25 minutes within that game against a League One opposition who was silly athletic. They had some serious athleticism within their team that come to press us, and we picked it off and got through it. So you're learning. Every time you play a game of football, we learn, we go away, we watch the game back, not just once, 2 or 3 times, because we're always trying to learn, we're trying to improve ourselves and trying to improve the team, because we believe if we can improve the team tactically, it gets another 5, another 10% out of each individual lad. If we can keep giving them that blueprint, that when they go on the pitch they know what to expect, how a team's going to press them and how we've got to get through that press, and then how we've got to press them to stop them. It's huge. So yeah, we're learning all the time. You've always got to keep learning. You'll never stop learning in football. I think the minute that you stop, you stand still and you go stale, and that's something that we definitely won't do. We keep driving each other on.
Does that philosophy is that like an overnight change? I know you say you're quite direct with Hemel, but maybe that was just to fit, the situation of the league at the time and to win games. I think people expected us when we got promoted to change our philosophy to stay in the division, and we've obviously adapted it without changing to that sort of direct style of football which people thought we might need to survive at this level. Does that change sort of come overnight, or is it something where like a light bulb moment happens, or is it you play to the conditions that you're playing with every week?
No, I think I've always had that strong believing in philosophy that wanted to play like that, and obviously me and Matty got talking about it, and Matty was exactly on the same page, and I think that's why we've had so much success, because we're on the same page. And it don't mean that you sit here, you watch games back and you just agree with each other, because we don't. And it's the same agreeing on players and what he does and what he shouldn't do. We're constantly testing each other and saying, well, what about if we do this and what about if we do that? We are a nightmare, if I'm being honest, on the phone 24/7 on the tactics board, watching games back and speaking about it. So it's something I strongly believed in massively, and we believe that when you work in this way, it's hard, because the detail that you have to go into is totally different to the detail you have to go into that if you're playing off the front and then you're getting runners off of people and stuff like that. So it's a big difference, and the work ethic you need to and the time to put into it is huge, but it's something we strongly believe in, because I look at it, when you go on the pitch to coach a group of lads, if you don't really believe in it, that comes across to the lads. When you're as passionate as what we are about it and really believe in it, when you go on the pitch, and we're going to go do a video session with the lads about the game the other night, they buy into it as well, because they can see that how passionate and the strong belief that you have in it. And when you believe in it, you research it even more. So yeah, it's something that we strongly believe in, and we won't change our principles.
And it's served you both well, isn't it, so far? I know back probably in the early days, the trust the process comments sort of thrown back jokingly sometimes, but the fans have really bought into it now, haven't they? As you say, there's been games last year, where if we've had injuries and we've been on the back end of a bad scoreline, the fans are still supportive and see what we're trying to do on the pitch.
Yeah, I think as a fan, I'm a fan of the football team. I want to see my team pass the ball. I think it gives us the greatest pleasure, and hopefully as a fan base it gives them the greatest pleasure. I think you can only get so far playing quite direct football, because I think then you just become reliant on the players, and if you've got a low budget, what do? You can't recruit the best players, so then have that. Half the time when you play like that, you're gambling, and you're gambling that the players can solve it for you. The way we work is we have a massive obligation on ourselves to give them a blueprint, and then it is down to them to go and execute it. But if we can give them kind of as many answers as we can think of, then they're well equipped when they go out. It's like a test when you're at school. If you do the research and you revise, you're confident going into that test, and that's kind of how we work, and we believe that it's the hardest way to stop, and that's why the top teams in the Premier League and in the world all play like it, because when you execute it with the top players, it's near on impossible to stop. So yeah, it's a way that we believe. I think the fans have enjoyed the goals we've scored as well, as much as we have. Sometimes we're a little bit oblivious to how good the goals are at times, because we're so focused on the pattern and we want to get that right, we actually kind of forget we've made 30 passes within that pattern. So some of the goals, when you watch them back, they're incredible, and I think we've got a lot of plaudits for the way we play, the goals we've scored, and hopefully as a fan base they're enjoying it. And when you have a process, there's never guaranteed, there's no quick fixes in football, there never is, and it's taken time to get to this, and like Stu said, it's the hardest way to play, because there's so much detail and so much intricacy that goes into it. it can be like an outside centre half. If his angle's a yard wrong, it doesn't open up the passing channel for the pocket player or the wing back, and it doesn't suck that player out of their shape. So it's very intricate, and it drives us insane at times where you're looking at it and we're showing the lads going. I mean, remember the scenario last season with Housey where he didn't angle properly, and it was like the 68th minute, and we could just let it go. But it's so important for us getting out and our shape and stuff. So yeah, it's hard work in that way, but we know we believe it's the best way to work, and hopefully the fans enjoy it and the players enjoy it. All players want, I think, and Stu thinks, is to be on the ball. And in our team, you know you're going to land on the ball, and you know you're going to play well. And that's probably one of the biggest things that made us proud. Was, I think Cookie did a podcast where he said, it's the first time I know I'm going to go out on the pitch and play well, because he knows exactly what to expect. I know I'm going to land on the ball this amount of time. So for us, that makes us incredibly proud, because that's what we're working towards. Obviously you want success and you want to win games, but the process is just as important, if not more important, than the outcome, because the outcome's a byproduct of the quality of the process. So yeah, we're a nightmare, we believe in it, and we're going to keep sticking to it, and you see the success, so hopefully the fans enjoy it.
How nice is that? I know obviously everyone here knows how great we are and all that. How nice is it to get the plaudits from your peers in the National League as well? I know, the Notts County manager Luke Winans was very positive of us when they got promoted, for one, and also fans of other teams that have watched us. That must make you both feel really good.
Yeah, it does. And for us as a football club, it should be proud, because most teams that do come and get promoted, especially part-time teams within this division, you don't have a lot of the ball, and you defend a hell of a lot within games within this division. So look, it makes us proud as a management team and as a group of players. Look, a huge credit's got to go to the players as well. It's not just us. As much as we do give them the blueprint and we do work hard and we work hard at it, but a huge credit's got to go to the group of lads, because they have to come in on a Tuesday and a Thursday night, and they get an hour and a half to take the info in, and they try, they make mistakes, but they're doing it trying, they want to learn. We've got a group of players now this season, and last season we had, that want to learn, and that's one of the biggest things, that they want to learn, and they turn up every session wanting to learn and wanting to improve as well. So I think that's why the standards have been so high. But yeah, look, we're proud when people give you the plaudits from outside. It's nice to know that your work's being appreciated.
And how important as well is it, the relationships above yourself as well? I know yourself and both you and the board have a very good relationship, working well. Yeah,
it's huge. It's one of the biggest things in football. Is kind of, they say, is managing upwards and not downwards. But I think the biggest thing at this football club, and what we've all created, is that everyone is in it together. Even you, Chris, as the media. Everyone that comes through that door is welcomed, and they get treated with the same respect as I get treated, so Matty gets treated. Everyone's the same, really. We look at everyone the same, and the board have backed us 100% since we've been here. They're still trying to improve things off the pitch. We're trying to improve things on the pitch. Everyone's going in the right direction, and the fans have been absolutely incredible here. Look, we had a couple of sticky moments with them early doors, especially Dagenham in the FA Cup, which, look, you understand the fans' frustration, especially in the early time and in the process, and like you said, it got joked about, but the fans, season in, season out, have been absolutely incredible, home and away. The away support for this football club is absolutely incredible, to travel the way that we do, and they've got the plaudits. They've been branded as one of the best away fans within the league, and other teams are travelling with 1,000 or 1,100 fans, and we're travelling with 300 or 400, and they don't stop singing for the whole game. So everyone at the football club deserves huge praise, because the work that they've done, and that's why we're having a success, because everyone's in it together. There's no divides within this football club, and that's what we want to keep doing now. We're trying to slowly but surely bring the youth closer and closer to us, because we believe in it. You've seen this pre-season again with the academy lads have made debuts again this pre-season, and they're not just getting thrown on for 5 minutes at the end of the game to say that we've given them a debut. They've come on against Choltons, they've come on against Wickham's first teams as well for 15-20 minutes, which is good. And it's something that we're proud of, and it's something that we believe in.
I think you mentioned a low light there, the Dagenham Cup game. What's been your personal highlight since you've had the manager's job?
Look, I always think, because of everything that was on the Barnet game, in the sense of the way the stadium was taken away from the club, to be able to go there, not last season, the season before, and win 3-1 in the way we did, and have 800 or 900 fans there, I think that's probably been my proudest moment at the football club, to go win a game like that for the fans, because that game's for the fans. It's for people involved in the board that have been involved in the club for donkey's years, that it means so much to them. Us as a management team, we look at every game as 3 points, and that's all that's up for grabs. And when we speak to the lads about games as 3 points, you can't get the lads too overhyped for them games. But to go there and win 3-1 and then win in the fashion that we did, yeah, incredibly proud.
And yourself, May?
I'll probably say Oldham, because I think that was the first moment that group that we had at that time really believed in that they could go and do something really good last season. And obviously we didn't finish probably where we thought we might at stages during the season, but to go and play the way we did at a team of that size and in a stadium and in that environment, for a lot of young players as well, to go and play that way and be brave, because we do ask the players to be so brave, especially in away games, because we want to quieten down the fans. So if we have the ball, then that's the best way to do it. So that was probably my proudest moment, because it was kind of a culmination of probably 2 years' work in terms of patterns of play and stuff to get to that point, to then go and see it executed on the stage like that was probably, yeah, I'll probably say that was my proudest moment.
Perfect. Well, cheers for your time, lads. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Chris.
Cheers, Chris. Thank you.